My name's Vanessa Walton. I'm a study abroad advisor at a university in town. I met Callie, I'd say it was almost 6 years ago. I had moved to Minneapolis. I've been living here for about a year, and I was looking for a bike shop. I had a bike that I brought with me that I got for free when I lived in Vermont, and I'd had a flat tire pretty much the entire time I had the bike, and I couldn't figure out why it kept going flat. And so it was constantly just trying to figure out why this tire was going flat. When I moved here, I remember specifically going to a bike shop and asking if they could fix it. And basically the people at the bike shop told me that the integrity of my bike was like faulty or off and it wasn't worth fixing because it wasn't a more expensive or fancy bike. And I was just like, okay, I didn't know much about biking. I didn't know anything about bikes. This was just the bike I had and it's what I had been using. And so I felt like what I had wasn't good enough and I already kind of felt very much dismissed. And so I just didn't use my bike for a while when I first got here. Then I decided that I really wanted to bike again. And so I started looking for other places and I came across Cherry Cycles and reached out to Callie, brought my bike in, came in and was kind of apologetic. Like, I have this bike. It's not a really fancy bike. It's not a super expensive bike, but this is what I have. Can you figure out why the tire keeps going flat? And I remember she was just like, listen, does your bike work for you now? And I was like, yeah. She was like, that's all that matters. Let's take a look at your bike and I can see about fixing your tire. And I was just so appreciative because she wasn't dismissive. She was very welcoming. And it didn't matter that I didn't have the most fancy or newest or most expensive bike. It was just as important. And she took the time to fix it and to show me what was wrong, most importantly as well. I live in the uptown area, so it's super close and convenient. And that's nice. I mean, that's important for me. But I think what's more important is the fact that Callie and Cherry Cycles has always been a place where I felt very welcomed. I felt like my voice and my concerns were heard. It wasn't dismissed. I felt like Callie has always taken the time to kind of explain things and be very patient with me and kind of make the bike, I guess, ownership and user experience a little bit easier and clarified for me. I also feel like, I don't know, I think as I've been reading more and more about biking, it can feel like a very maybe gendered and masculine space. And I feel like sometimes, especially some of these bike shops in town, not to say anything against them, can feel that way as well. And so I've always really appreciated the fact that a place like Cherry Cycles is very much a place where, as a woman, I can come here and feel very comfortable and feel like I'm heard and not feel dismissed. And I feel like we really need that, especially if we live in a city where we want people to take more sustainable forms of transportation and we want people to have the opportunity to bike and feel more comfortable. Why not create spaces where people can go and actually get those services that they need so they can have that first step into doing that?